I found my grandfather's unsent letter from 1968 and decided to deliver it. I never expected to uncover a 55-year-old secret that would heal our entire family while cleaning out my grandfather's attic after his funeral. I found a yellowed envelope addressed to a woman I'd never heard of. The letter inside was dated the 8th of June, 1968, per the day before my grandparents' wedding. My dearest Eleanor, it began. My breath caught. Eleanor wasn't my grandmother's name. I shouldn't have read it, but something about the careful handwriting, the way it had been sealed, then unsealed, as if my grandfather had debated sending it for decades, pulled me in. By the third paragraph, I was sitting on the dusty attic floor, tears streaming down my face. I will marry Catherine tomorrow, as my family expects, but I want you to know that the child you carry is mine, and the fact that I cannot stand beside you both is the greatest regret of my life. I will never forgive my father for threatening to disown us both if I broke my engagement to the daughter of his business partner. The letter revealed that Eleanor had been pregnant with my grandfather's child when social pressure and family obligations forced him to marry my grandmother instead. He had written this letter the night before his wedding, but never sent it. For 3 days, I kept the letter in my nightstand, unable to sleep. My grandfather Parn, the stoic, traditional man who rarely showed emotion, had a child somewhere in the world, a child who would now be around 55 years old. My aunt or Uncle Seven, who might not even know their father's identity. My grandmother had passed 5 years earlier, so there was no marriage to protect. But what about our family? What about the decades of silence? Did my father know he had a half-sibling somewhere? After a week of moral wrestling, I decided to search for Eleanor Thompson. Social media yielded nothing but a property record search showed an Eleanor Thompson, 78, living just 30 miles from my grandfather's house. Standing on her porch, letter in hand, was the most terrifying moment of my life. When the door opened, I saw a woman with familiar eyes peer to my grandfather's eyes. "Are you sewing something?" she asked, her voice gentle but cautious. "No," I managed. "I am Thomas Wilson's granddaughter. I found the letter he wrote to you in 1968. He passed away last month, and I thought maybe you should have this." Her hand trembled as she took the envelope. "I never thought," she whispered, tears welling. "Please come in over tea." Eleanor told me everything. How they'd fallen in love while working summer jobs at the lake. How she'd raised their daughter Rebecca alone, telling her only that her father had been unable to be part of their lives. How she'd never married, keeping a small hope alive that someday. "Rebecca has his smile," she said, showing me a photo of a woman my father's age. "She's a pediatric surgeon now, has 3 children of her own." When I finally called my father that night, I expected anger or denial instead. After a long silence, he said, "I always suspected something. Dad would get this look every the 8th of June, would disappear for hours. Mom knew something too, I think." 6 weeks later, our entire extended family gathered in Eleanor's backyard paint, my father meeting his half-sister for the first time, my cousins discovering new cousins, 3 generations healing a wound that had shaped all our lives without us knowing it. Among Rebecca's belongings was a small box of childhood mementos. Inside was a birthday card with no name containing only $50 and the words "proud of you." The postmark was the 8th of June, 1986. My grandfather had found a way after all. Sometimes the greatest acts of love aren't grand gestures, but small moments of courage that ripple across generations, and sometimes healing begins with the simple delivery of words that waited half a century to be read.